Welcome to Field Notes, where a geologist in training is going to share with you some of the more exciting bits of geology majors. If you're in any sort of science or research degree, you know that field work can be a very important part of the learning experience. You get to get out there, be hands-on, you have instructors that will tell you how to do your job when you graduate from college. Today I'm going to talk about my first experience in field camp. I took a class last spring semester called Structural Geology, and in that class we had a field trip, field camp experience to North Carolina. We stayed for 3 days in the Appalachian Mountains in Brevard, North Carolina. We pitched tents, we did all the quintessential field camp stuff, except that most kids on that trip had been on field camp before. So my first day at field camp, we gathered around, we had this little briefing with my teacher, Dr. Foray, and everybody got handed a Brunton compass. Now if you don't know what a Brunton compass is, you're in the same boat that I was. I had no idea what it was. Turns out, a Brunton compass is just a compass, except on it, it has little dials and switches that help you figure out strike and dip. If you don't know what strike and dip are, that's a long video. I spent an entire semester learning about what that is. Luckily, I was with the girl who has done field camp before, and she was able to show me how to open the Brunton compass, because it's a trick. There's a trick to it, and it just doesn't just pop open like you would think it would. No, it's got a little hook, and you need to stick a dime and open it. So on the first outcrop of the day, we were supposed to start with the basics. We're going to learn how to do strike and dip. Everybody on that trip has already measured strike and dip on rocks before. Everybody else has handled Brunton compasses. They knew what they were doing. However, I was the slow one, and I needed to have the refresher course. I, of course, being the overachiever, decided to go with Dr. Foray's group. So after I had fumbled my way through measuring my first strike and dip of the outcrop, mostly I just said the same numbers that everybody before me had been saying. I realized that I wasn't going to be the best or the brightest at the fieldwork thing. So at that point, I decided to replace actual ability with enthusiasm. So as soon as he said, anybody want to get up here and try and measure this mineral lineation in this rock, I jumped right up. I went up and I climbed like a mountain goat up on top of the rock outcrop so I could drop a stone on the mineral lineation with my compass and try and measure the mineral. Using the compass, I don't know what I did. It seemed to work and I got a good answer, but he did tease me about saying 59 degrees instead of 059 degrees. So after the first outcrop, which took about 3 hours because not everybody was as enthusiastic about learning how to do it as I was, so then we moved on to the next outcrop of the day, which was basically doing the same thing but on our own. So after several more outcrops and after a 12+ hour day, I had never been more grateful to the cold shower at the campsite or the gravel that I got to sleep on. So the next day we packed up all our stuff, we drove the 8 hours back home, and next year I plan on doing more field camp, including one large 6-week field camp to Montana and South Dakota, which is the cornerstone of our geology major. So if anybody else has any awesome tales of their first, third, 15th field camp experience, please share them with me. I love to hear them and know that we're all kind of in this together, and I'm not the only one who had a miserable first time at field camp. Bye.